Welcome back, everyone. Sergeant Chad Recker is with us today from Lima Highway Patrol Post. We're talking a little bit about drinking and driving, OVI, that issue. We were talking earlier about it's been an issue for so long, and you said it's still a problem here in Allen County and all across the state, right?
Right. It continues here in Allen County and across the state of Ohio. So far this year, we've had 76 crashes that were OVI related. That number is just way too high. Yeah. We get out every day, day, night, anytime. We're out there trying to arrest the people drinking and driving, people impaired on drugs that are operating vehicles, whatever we can to drive those numbers, those crash numbers down and keep everyone safe here in Allen County.
Yeah, you were talking too, the amount of people that are drinking and driving or impaired with drugs when it comes to fatal crashes, that's a pretty high number too, right?
Right. Across the state of Ohio, 54% of fatal crashes are OVI related. Again, like I said, it is just way too high. We have way too many incidences, people losing loved ones due to an act that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, and then you guys have to end up making that call to relatives and those kind of things. We've heard so many years about having a sober driver. If you're going out, you're having a party, or you're home doing something, how important is that, have a designated driver?
I mean, it saves lives. That's simple enough. And it's easier and easier to get somebody sober to drive, whether it's through somebody you know coming and picking you up. Nowadays there's taxis, Ubers, any way you can get somebody sober to come pick you up and get you home safely, that's what we ask you to do. Yeah,
we hear the PSAs about, especially lately, about buzz driving, because there's so many people that think, I've had a few, I can do it, I'm fine. It's not, and you guys have talked about this before, it's not a matter of picking your sober driver who's the most sober. I mean, you really want to have somebody that's alert, right?
Right. We've all heard it before. Buzz driving is drunk driving. If you do not feel normal, you should not be behind a wheel. Yeah. We ask you to call a designated driver, any way to get home safe without putting yourself or anybody else in Allen County or Ohio at risk.
Do drugs and alcohol, do they impair your mobility? What kind of impact do they have, especially when you're behind the wheel?
Well, there's several impairment factors when you're talking about drugs and alcohol. Slowing your reaction time, your vision can become impaired, and when you think about driving, those two things alone are a huge factor in driving. That split-second decision where if you're impaired, you just don't have the sense about you to make good decisions while driving.
Yeah, as you've said, the person that's impaired thinks that they've got everything under control. What do you do as a patrol as far as getting that message out? Is it education? Is it more enforcement, especially around the holidays and those kind of things?
Yeah, we try to educate everyone we can. We try to do things like this to reach as many people as possible. It's a big part of our everyday enforcement, not only just your everyday stuff, but we have special overtimes that we use through the Highway Patrol, federally funded, to go out and just look for OVI impaired drivers. Look at that person making a left of center violation or running a stop sign and stopping them people and talking to them. That's how we find, an impaired driver. That's how we get them arrested and get them off the roadway, keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, it's a good message. Sergeant Recker, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me.
Don't go away. Medical news coming up next on Noon Edition.